What happens if you lose, Nick?
Who the hell is Aquaman?
I get Fruity Pebbles, Cocoa Pebbles, I get sausage biscuits. Maybe you guys will see a little footage of that later on because we got some good stuff.
Throw up the deuces. There you go, baby.
Hey, what's going on, boys and girls? Good evening and welcome to Thursday night. It is Case with Christopher James. I'm Christopher James, in case you didn't know. Glad to have you on board with us tonight, man. And shout out to my sponsors, Just Heart Apparel and Just Heart Apparel East Coast. Andrew Sams and their company have invested in the show, and I'm very happy to have them on board. They're a bunch of good guys. Andrew's actually going to have a fight coming up here. He's still an amateur fighter. He's fighting later on in the month. So we're going to have him going on, and I actually might bring him on the show as a guest, as a fighter, not as a sponsor. It's going to be good stuff. Oh, my God, crazy week, right? Khabib beats Justin last week, and now everybody's saying he's the GOAT. He's not the GOAT. He's the GOAT at lightweight. He's not the GOAT. We'll get into that another day. We're going to go rip on that because I'm tired of people talking all that smack. There's so many other people that are ahead of him as far as the GOAT conversation is concerned, including Amanda Nunes. And she's 8-0 in title fights, 2 different weight classes. She's always fought the number ones because that's all there was for her to fight. So I'm just throwing that out there right now. But tonight we're talking about Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship BKFC 14, taking place November 13th at Miami in the Intercontinental Hotel. It is going to stream live and exclusively on the BKTV app, which you can download at www.bktv.com or www.bktvapp.com, excuse me, www.bktvapp.com. Roku, Apple, Android, iPhone, all that stuff. Download it, get the app. It's $3.99 a month, and you will be privy to the fucking greatest action in combat sports today. Speaking of the greatest action in combat sports today, this guy came onto the scene. He's a former UFC fighter. Wasn't known for his knockout or his striking, and then he came to Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship, and he was reinvented, reinvigorated, and excited about fighting again. Probably more excited than he'd been in a long time. Went on an incredible tear, knocking everybody out. He had one fight that went to decision. He was supposed to fight for the championship a while back. He caught COVID, or his coach caught COVID. He had to sit back and relax and wait. In his stead, Luis Palomino stepped in and fought Ike Flagg for the title. Luis Palomino, formerly of WSOF and the XFC, is now the reigning 155-pound champion. But we're going to get the beef settled because they're fighting November 13th in Miami. Joining us on the show right now, man, he's a friend of the show. I love this guy. Like he's just good people. He's got a gym. He takes care of his community. He's got 2 beautiful kids, an awesome wife that, like, ride or die. You know, she's with him day, night, in, out, up, down. Doesn't matter, because that's how good of a guy this is. So we're going to welcome him right now. He's smiling in the green room. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the man himself, the Bare Knuckle Beast, the one and only Jim Alers, joining us on the show. Jim, how are you, brother?
I'm good, man. How you guys doing?
How'd you like that, buildup of you, how cool you are?
That was pretty cool, man. It's always cool to hear good things about yourself, of course.
Yeah, and I don't say that because you're coming on the show and because we have a friendly relationship. I say that because it's true, because I look at people, and there's fighters I know that I'm friends with that I don't think the same way of as I think of you, because they're not the same as you, So, before we get into your fight coming up and everything, and all the drama that's built up to it, we talked at the beginning of the pandemic about life and everything, how it's changed, your gym and everything else. So give us an update as to what's going on with your gym and your family, and your recovery with your coaches and everything from COVID and all that stuff. Just get us caught up to speed on that, and then we'll dive into your fight and everything.
Yeah, man. So I've just been, trying to keep my gym up and running, as many other gym owners I'm sure are right now. So, during that whole COVID situation crap, I had to do Zoom classes and all this stuff to try to keep members, in a gym that they can't go to. So, that was hard for many, many gym owners. And I'm sure many business owners have to deal with the same situation of just like, how are we going to keep paying for the bills? So kind of had to deal with that for a while trying to figure out, all right, how am I going to train? How am I going to stay in shape? So I mean, I was riding bike around town, riding 50 miles here and there, doing this, doing that, and just trying to stay ready. But I think now it's hard. I know gyms aren't. I don't even know the rules anymore, honestly. I just said screw it. I'm opening my gym back up, and we're gonna, we're healthy people. We're gonna try our best to, if you're sick, stay home, kind of thing. And my gym's back. Membership has gone back up. So God has blessed me in that way, and it's continuing to rise. People are eager to get back into the gym. So I'm excited about that. As far as the whole COVID situation, man, so many people I know have now had it, and very few.
I had it.
Yeah, very few people that I know personally have been like sick to the point where they had to go to the hospital. My cousin was very sick though; he had to go to the hospital and everything. I know very few people, but the majority of the people I know, they had very mild to no symptoms at all, and they were okay. My coach had lack of taste, he had fever, those kind of symptoms. The whole situation with that, of course, was, man, if I trained with my coach while he has COVID, he was positive for like 3 weeks, and I only had 4 weeks for the fight. I had a 4-week camp only for a title fight, and my coach had COVID for 3 of those weeks. So if I go and train with him, then obviously I risk the chance of doing a fight camp for no reason to possibly not even being able to fight.
Right.
So I just kind of saved everybody some time there, and I blessed Luis Palomino with the opportunity to get a free title shot.
I like it. So the gym is open, and you got members coming back in now. Have you had any cases of COVID come through your gym since you've reopened? Have any of your members?
So yeah, I've had people that I'm like, hey, where have you been, man? Blah blah blah, and they're like, hey, I just I got tested, I was positive, but I want to stay away. And every time that someone has told me that, I've gone and got tested just to be sure. And I've been negative, so all is well in that sense.
Well, that's good, man. What about the wife and kids? They're all good, no issues with them?
Yeah, man, everybody has been good. It's been crazy. Like in some of the stories I hear that, I'll have a student, it's like, hey, like my wife and my son got COVID, but like me and my daughter don't. And I'm like, man, that's crazy for something that's so contagious. I mean, I don't know. Everyone has their says on this, but I'm like, how do you not have it? And this has been multiple times.
Yeah,
multiple times.
I caught it. My worst symptom was I had the chills for 3 total hours. That was it. I quarantined for 2 weeks. And my wife, she works out of the house, so she doesn't leave the house a lot at all unless we're going somewhere together. She never caught it, and she was taking care of me the whole time. I mean, she didn't catch it. So I the whole thing just baffles me. I don't want to get into a whole COVID show and rant, but
right, yeah. I just want to get
caught up with you. I know you had some issues that COVID kind of kicked you in the ass, and changed your timetable for where you wanted to be today. Like today, you want to be talking to me as the reigning defending champ, defending your belt in November, rather than going to get the belt for the first time. So I totally understand how for you, COVID, just really, I mean, it sucks for everybody, but for you in particular, but so you and Luis Palomino used to train together at MMA Masters. You spent time together. You've known him. You guys have been on the scene in South Florida, representing MMA for the longest time. And for that, I'm pretty sure I said it before, but let me say it again. Thank you to you, and thank you to him, because you guys really helped grow our scene in the state of Florida. And you guys, in my book, are legendary competitors that really helped build a base for it here in Florida. So for that, forget all your bare knuckle accomplishments right now. Just for that alone, that's a debt of gratitude I say thank you for, because you helped. You're part of the history of the state of Florida and putting us on the map. So thank you for that. Now, you and Palomino, like I said, you trained together. You spent time together.
For sure. Thank you, man. I appreciate the kind words.
Well, it's from the heart, dude. And my heart's right under my new Cage Side with Christopher James shirt, which, I'm going to be like putting for sale. So if you guys want to buy one, message me. I'll sell you one. $3 million each. They're expensive, I sew them all by hand. You know, each little. No, but anyway,
That's pricey.
so you guys have, you know, like I said, spent time together, trained together, probably helped each other get ready for fights in MMA back in the day. Then this whole fight came up. You guys were originally supposed to scrap. You're walking around with your BKFC belt, which pisses him off. We all see it when you walk in anywhere. If he's in the building, he gets mad. And he's the champion. And I know you long enough to know that even though you're walking around with that, you know it's not the real belt, but you also know that it's something that bothers him. And I also know this about you. Even if he's mad at you and you're mad at him, the one thing I do know is that you respect him being the champion right now because he went in there, he took the fight, and he won the fight. He's got the belt. So we can agree on that. You respect the fact that he is a champion at this point. Yes?
Man, you're breaking up for some reason. I don't know why.
That's weird. Did you catch any of that? Hey, you know what, Jim? Do this. Can you hear me right now? Hold on a second. Hang on, guys. We're having a little technical difficulty. I'm sending Jim a message right now. You should see that message pop in here. You should see that message. I'm hoping. Can you hear me now?
I can hear you.
Okay.
You were breaking up a lot. It's storming where I'm at right now, man.
So that's why. All right. So I'll shorten up the question. Basically, even though you feel that you rightfully should be the champion right now, the situation happened. So at the end of the day, you respect him as the champion because he went out there, he took the title fight, he won the title fight, and you respect the belt and you respect the fact that he holds it. I would say that's a correct assumption.
I mean, he has the belt, and technically, sure, he's a champion. Is that respectful to someone like, Johnny Bedford, who had to win a tournament to win that belt? Is it respectful to, the first heavyweight champ who had to win the tournament, actual tournament to win that belt, who had to win 3 or 4 fights before they were considered the champ? Sure, he's the BKFC champ, but we also know that the Police Gazette every single time has put the Police Gazette belt on the line for every other championship, but one. They didn't even bother to put that belt on the line for Luis Palomino's fight because they didn't feel he was deserving of it. But guess who they're putting it on the line for?
You. My
fight against him, of course. So does he have the belt? Yeah, he has the belt. But in my eyes, it's not.
And I know where you're going with that. But let me flip it around for you then. Let's say the situation was reversed. You and him were, you had done your work, or let's say you were him and he was you. But you and he had to pull out of the fight the same reason you did because COVID, and you were being responsible to the community, being the right thing about it. And you were Luis. You would have taken the opportunity to take the title fight as well, regardless, right? So you can't fault him for that.
No, of course it's not. I guess it's not his fault in a way. I kind of blame a little bit the promotion. In effect, I kind of thought with me pulling out, they would, kind of put him another fight, get him some fights on his bare knuckle record before offering this guy a title shot. That kind of weakens the division. I feel like in my mind, having a guy with no fights is kind of like. All the talk of, MMA is different. It doesn't matter what you do in MMA. This is bare knuckle. And then all of a sudden, hey, you got 1 win, man. You want a title fight? That doesn't really fly in my mind.
No, and I get that too. I understand that 100% from a fighter's perspective. You went out there and you showed that you were worthy of fighting for a title by going in there and winning fights, and in exciting fashion too. Like I'm still, I know I say this to you all the time, but I'm still so blown away by your striking and your technique because we never saw a lot of that from you, dude. So my head just goes, man, if he just start knocking motherfuckers out in the UFC, and I love it. I'm not being a smartass. I love that you have this in you, like, and like I said, I've talked to people, that have trained with you over the years, and they go, Jim's always been really strong, striking in the gym. He punches people, he hits hard. And, so I love it, dude. It's like you got the guy that was known for his grappling is now taking people out with his hands. And I love the transformation. In all my years of watching you fight, I'm going to be honest, man, even getting to the UFC, which is every MMA guy's dream, and all the stuff I've seen you do around the world, I've never seen you happier. Never seen you happier than I do in bare knuckle. It's fucking so awesome, man. Are you still having problems hearing me?
I think the pressure really, I think if I can say one thing that's kind of changed is that
he keeps freezing up. Let me message him again. He froze up. All right, we're gonna remove him. Kick him from the studio. So I just pulled him out of the studio because he froze up. I just sent him a message to click back in. So guys, don't forget it's Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship 14. It's November 13th at the Intercontinental in Miami. There's a few tickets left. I'll be down there covering it as a member of the media, and I'm excited to be there. It's going to take place. It's going to be awesome. It'll stream on the BKTV app, BKTV app, www.bktvapp.com. Use my code, Christopher Roth, R-O-T-H, Christopher R-O-T-H Roth, and we will, you'll get the hookup, man. So we're bringing him back in right now. Hopefully, we got a cleaner. There he is. He's back. So I think with the storm going on down there in South Florida, it's probably affecting his.
It's already for some reason. I don't know if it's.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I don't know if it's the weather right now, but hopefully it works.
Well, we make the best of what we can with it. So let's get into the fight. In case we lose you again. So it's you and Palomino. There's no grappling involved. Obviously clinch work and everything. But at the end of the day, it's two guys who are going to go in there, and the man with the stronger will that night is going to win. Palomino hits hard. He had two big wars. His biggest two wars were with Justin Gaethje. And they beat the shit out of each other. So he hits hard. You saw what he did to Ike Flag. Do you have any game plan, I guess, because some people go, they're just going to go in there and brawl. But there's more to it than that. I don't think people understand that there is, game planning and working technique in a bare knuckle fight. So do you have a game plan coming into this to how you deal with, what he brings to the table?
Man, hold on. I don't know what's happening. I can't hear anything you're saying.
Do you have a game plan? Oh, he's going to click back out. He just clicked back out. Hopefully he'll click back in. I think where he's at, his internet is bad right now. But also, I wanted to announce they shared the news today. Jim has signed with GOAT Combat Agency. Scott Farley and Vince Anderson are heading that company up. So that's going to be Jim's new management. They're going to represent him in all those negotiations and deals moving forward. They also represent Mark Godbeer. Tomorrow night on the show, we are going to have Championship Friday night, because tomorrow night at 7:30 p.m., we are going to talk with Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship heavyweight champion and the Police Gazette Diamond Belt heavyweight champion, the one and only, the Mexicutioner, Joey Beltran. Immediately following that interview, we start that at 7:30, 8 p.m. Eastern time. We are talking with the 155-pound champ, the man who Jim Alers is going to be fighting in November, the one and only, the Baboon, Luis Palomino. So lots of good stuff going on there. I'm excited about that. So that's going to be a great show tomorrow night. We were going to have Austin Vanderford on tonight from Bellator. He's fighting Christopher Curtis. But he got caught up at training, so he won't be on tonight. We're going to try to catch him on tomorrow night after the other show, after the other 2 interviews are done. And then we're waiting for him to connect in here. He has to connect his mic or cam before I can add him to the stream. His camera or his mic isn't working. That's what it's telling me right now. Oh, there we go. We got him. All right, cool. All right, there he is. He's back.
And I moved right. I'm really right next to the
router.
So we shall see.
All right. So we'll just get to the quick question in case we lose you again. We want to know, is there a game plan for you going into this to work on, because you know what he brings to the table. So is there a game plan for Jim Alers to go after what he's doing and bring your own stuff with it?
Yeah, man. You know what's good about someone who has like 50 fights? That they have a lot of film on the internet. And, one thing I have noticed with the majority of his fights is that when he's the bully, he does a great job. But as soon as someone says, you're not going to bitch me around, he crumbles, Yeah, he had 2 fights with Gaethje that were great that he lost by knockout.
Yeah.
Right? Because what happens is that when the person pushes back, he doesn't really know what to do, and he kind of closes his eyes and swings for defenses. And without his karate, without his kicks and his all kiyas, he doesn't have too much. Yeah, he hits hard. I know. I've trained with him. He hits hard, but if those hits don't knock you out, he kind of doesn't know what to do after that. So the game plan really is, I'm gonna do what I do. I'm gonna stay in his face. I'm gonna keep a pace that he just can't keep up with. Just like many others in the past have done to him when he has lost those 16 times. So I'm just going to follow the playbook that everyone else has set for me. Be in his face, push the pace on him, and he's going to break.
Now, when you do get with him and you start putting that pressure on, push the pace, the one thing I think, that, and I'm excited about this aspect of the fight. And before I even say this, let me just tell everybody out there, when this fight happens, you guys, I always make predictions on this and the other thing. I will not be making a prediction on this fight because I have a very personal relationship with Luis, and I have a pretty personal relationship with Jim as well. Luis from XFC days, he was our first champion. I've known him forever, and you all know how I feel about Jim. So I'll say this to Jim, and tomorrow night, Luis is coming on the show. I'm going to say the same thing to him. I love both of you guys. It's going to be crazy, nerve-wracking to watch you guys fight each other. And I just hope when it's all over that you guys have a cocktail together and, talk about the fight and, move forward. And I hope you both are able to walk out of the ring to, on that night on your own 2 feet. I can't pick.
I've said it before. I don't have any problem with old man Louis. I am. I love the guy. He's a good guy. He's a nice guy. But do I think he's going to beat me? No. But after the fight, I'm more than happy. I'm going to walk over to him, wake him up, slap him in the face a little bit, remind him that he's at Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship 14 at the Intercontinental Hotel, and offer him a beer. And it is what it is. Hopefully that we have a good time after.
Just in case you guys missed what he said, because I think it broke up for a second on our end. He said after the fight, he's going to walk over, he's going to wake him up and slap him, give him a little slap, get him wake up, and then to go out, have a drink of beer together. So Jim is very confident that he's going to win this fight. If you guys, by the way, you're watching Cage with Christopher James, brought to you by Just Heart Apparel. We are live with the bare knuckle beast himself, the #1 contender at 155, Jim Alers. He's going to be taking on Luis Palomino November 13th, Friday, November 13th in Miami, Florida at the Intercontinental Hotel. If you can't be there, download the app, www.bktvapp.com. It's $3.99 a month. This event will air exclusively on there. If you guys have any questions for Jim, write them in the comments. I will pass them along. I will share them on the screen. I'm going to share a couple of comments with him right now. The first prediction coming through, Alers, TKO round 3. That's the first prediction coming through on the stream right there. You see that, Jim?
Yeah, I just saw the Alex TKO round 3. I like it, man. I mean, my prediction is definitely I think round 1 we're both going to punch each other a little bit and have some fun in there, but I do see it happening in round 2 or 3 as well. So Forrest has the right idea.
All right, and here's the next comment. I know you're going to like this one. Here it comes.
Of course, man. I agree. I think we should get paid big bucks for this. I think this is the most talked about fight right now in South Florida in years, and in Florida in general. You know, two goats going at it and putting that work in.
Yeah. Your management team from Goat Combat Agency, congratulations on signing with them, by the way. Scott Farley just commented. He's calling for the first round finish.
I'm disconnecting, so it'll work better.
Well, sorry, I didn't hear you there.
Yeah, he's calling you for the first round finish. It's on the screen. Your manager, your new manager from Goat.
Oh, yeah, Scott, man. Yeah, so yeah, man. I just signed with Goat Management. They're going to be handling all my sponsorships, hooking it up, you know, and getting me ready for this fight, you know, in and out of the cage. So big shout out to them for sure. And you know, I'll be very happy with a first round knockout. You know, that's usually what I'm trying to go for. So I'll be happy with that.
You know, he said first round finish, but he didn't put your name on there. I wonder if he's picking your opponent.
I mean, I you know, like I said, man, I live by the sword and die by the sword. So I'm gonna go in there and I'm not gonna dance around. You know,
Yeah.
I know he said some craziness, Lewis, about my fight against Elvin Brito. I didn't want to break my hand, so I didn't. That's bull crap. You know, we're warriors. We go in there to get it done. We're not going in there to dance around and play patty cake.
Yep.
I just think he didn't have it that fight. He was a little nervous, probably a little scared, and you know he tiptoed around to get that win. You know, I think his second fight with Valley Flag. Honestly, I think he just if you watch the replay, it was kind of a club to the back of the head a little bit, in my opinion. But he did hit him. He knocked him down. But there's no such thing as luck in this sport. We train hard to get what we get. But it was a shot that
yeah. Well,
probably if it
I
didn't
would say
that way, the fight would have definitely gone a different way.
I would say that most punches to the back of the head that a fighter absorbs is because they're moving, and you guys, you know, you're going to throw a punch and he's moving, and it happens so quick. I would say, my opinion, 95% of punches to the back of the head are unintentional, but there are some dudes out there that they'll wait for you to turn your head and then they'll pop, and that's fucking bullshit. But you know, it happens.
Right.
Forrest Daniels, who predicts you to win in round 3, he's got a question for you. He said, Jim, what's your favorite thing about bare knuckle fighting championship?
Man, I think I honestly have to say that ever since I started bare knuckle, you know, I think what a lot of fighters do is that they look at this as like a second coming, a new career. This is gonna change their life and become a new star. It just happened to happen that way for me, you know. Kind of rose up in the ranks fast and did what I had to do. But to me, I'm just out there having fun now, man. I'm just like having a good time. It's a fun environment. I love the crowd. I love the family feel that the promotion has. It's like a small knit family. I love the sound of those just bare knuckle fists to the face. I love the fact that this is an old school situation, like I used to fight in the back of the portables in middle school kind of situation, you know. But this time I'm getting paid for it. I like the fact that I get a base pay too. So win or lose, I'm going out there and I'm gonna give it my all, because it's only benefits if I get the knockout, right? If I get a boring ass decision, or you know, then I'm not gonna get a bonus. So if I'm getting a decision, it's gonna be a fight of the night for sure.
I like it. I like I said, I really haven't seen you this free as a fighter in quite some time. It's very cool to see that you're just like, like you said, you're having fun. You're going out there. You do. And for you guys that aren't from Florida, and I don't know if they do this everywhere else, but Jim was talking about being out by the portables. In Florida schools, they never built the schools in anticipation of the growth explosion of the populations. So because of that, they would have portable classrooms outside. So
wait, that's not everywhere?
hanging out,
I didn't know that.
No, that's true. That's why it happened. I mean, because the school districts, none of them built their schools and had any foresight on the growing population. And Florida, as you know, where you live, I mean, how much has it grown, from 10 years ago, even, so 20 years ago when you're in your middle school, you're like, doing your thing. But that's why the portable classroom was, brought into play all over Florida. I'm from New York. We didn't have portables in New York. We had schools that were big enough for every motherfucking kid in the county. And, but that's because, it was established. New York was established for so much of a longer time than Florida. And then all these areas in Florida that are continued. At some point here, we're going to run out of wildlife in Florida because they keep just building shit over shit over shit. But that's what the portals were, for what you guys were wondering. And Jim used to be out there at the portable, like, between classes, knocking dudes out. That's what he was telling you. He was one of those kids. I was out there at the portable smoking a joint and fucking having a smoke with my buddies while, class was going on. We would leave class and go out back, get fucked up. Yeah, that was middle school and high school for me. So here's a question for you. Oh, wait, hold on. Let me put this one up first.
All right.
Always got to show her love. The number one fan in Florida,
Hey,
Debbie Gamble. She said, "Hey there, champ."
Yeah, man. Much love for Debbie. Definitely she is always there, always supporting. She's definitely Florida's biggest fan.
All right. And here's another comment from Forrest before I bring up the next question. Alers is very Bruce Lee-ish lately. You're flowing like water, bro.
Yeah,
pretty
man.
good. I like that comment.
I think it's easier to just go with the flow on everything, and I'm just destined for greatness, and I'm just accepting every step of the way with a smile on my face, man.
Yep. So your manager just piped up a question. He goes, "What do you have to say to random dudes who say, I've been in street fights. I trained Taekwondo when I was 7. I could do that too."
Man, especially people who come to my gym, I get this all the time. So I've had guys 6'1", 200 plus pounds go with like my wife, who's, 5'1", 5'2", 125 pounds, 130 pounds. And she goes in there, chokes them out. And they're like, "What the hell just happened to me?"
You got
and
work,
I'm like, that's called jujitsu. That's called jujitsu. That's, this is actual training. That stuff that you're doing on the streets, when you fight for 5 seconds before somebody breaks it up, that's not a fight. I don't care how many of those you said you've been in. So I kind of always, I don't even waste my time really. I just throw one of my white belts in there with 1 stripe, 2 stripes, and I let them take care of it.
Do you sit there and laugh while it's going on? Do you sit like back over in the corner like this, like?
I mean, I've honestly, I've gone with some guys. Some guys are strong and they're big. So I don't want to throw my white belts at them. So I go in there and I convince them in ways where I'm holding them down and I'm whispering in their ear like, "Imagine if this was prison right now. You'd have nothing to do. There's no way you can get out. This is not good for you, man. You need to learn how to defend yourself."
Oh my God. You just said, I whispered in their ear, "What if this was prison?"
Yeah. Oh. You'd be in big.
Wait, hold on, don't talk for me. Let me just laugh for me because I'm not going to hear anything you say.
That's usually a good one.
You got somebody you're choking about, and then you just lean and go, "Imagine this was prison, man." Like,
yeah,
oh my God,
whisper it in their ear and scare them. You're like, "Oh crap."
I'm scared right now. You didn't do it to me. That's what I'm saying, man. I'm fucking, oh my God.
Go practice some jujitsu, Chris.
Oh no, dude. I just know better than to walk into your gym and go, "You took karate when I was a kid and I fucking got into fights all the time. I'm never going to go into your gym and do that because I don't want you to whisper in my ear." So, Matt Zeiferblatt, I'm not sure. He wants to know what motivation you have going into this fight.
I think the motivation that I have is just kind of showing everybody that I think I still have so many doubters. I've seen many other fighters kind of say, yeah, Jim is great, but I think he has his hands full on this one, or Palomino is a more seasoned striker, or just kind of just proving those naysayers wrong. And of course, my family is always there. Having my wife in the corner for my fights, that's so much motivation. That's all the motivation I need. Knowing that, hey, no matter what, win or lose, I still got my hot wife in the corner, and I get to go back home to her. So
yeah, and I'm going to say this, with all the respect possible, Jim does have a hot wife, straight up. Your wife is such a beautiful woman, like inside and out, and because outside she's just very easy on the eyes, but chatting with her and seeing how she is with you and with your family makes her even prettier. Because she's such a good soul, and you're a blessed man to have that kind of a perfect package. You hooked up, bro.
Yeah, man, I was lucky.
No, I don't think you were lucky. It was meant to happen. By the way, speaking of love, and I got my wife and I love her with all my heart. And I think I said it to them once before, but Debbie Gamble, she's like, much love back at you, Forrest, because he shot it up. Much love. I think we need to figure out a way to get these guys together. He's in Oregon and she's in Florida. We got to fly one of them out to the other one, Jim, and we got to get them to meet, because I think this would be like a match made in heaven. They both love fights. They're both cool people. And I don't know, man. I just feel like we could create a love connection on the Kate Cyber Christopher James show. And, I got to figure out a way to do it, man. I'm going to get one of my sponsors to sponsor.
Get them both on the show first, get them to talk.
Dude. Hey, you know what, Jim? I'm going to do that. We're going to have a fatal 4-way on the show. Me and
there you go.
And we're going to moderate their meeting and get them together. And let's see, and if it vibes out, maybe you and I can split it, or we'll get to. Oh, Forrest says he's dating someone. Oh, dude, you just ruined my show. Forrest, I'm done with you forever. No. All right. Well, Forrest, when you get rid of her, because she's not a fight fan, I'm guessing, like you are. So, when you need a fight fan in your life, you let me know. I'm gonna set it up. We're gonna get you and Debbie on the show. Jim and I are gonna moderate it, and then we're gonna make the love connection. I like saying that. It's just like that. Love connection. I feel like I'm on that late night radio. All right, listen, it's music for lovers. www.fuck. Oh, look, Debbie right there. She goes, "Is this a matchmaking show now?" Howie Atherton from the Police Gazette Corporation says the PG belt awaits Jim. So, and he's part of the Police Gazette. So it's nice to know that they believe in you. Brian Holstein, do you travel for training, or are you primarily staying home and local?
Man, I do about the majority. I do all my training right here in Broward County, 954, and I train with my coach Kevin Gleason. We put that work in. We came up with the perfect formula for this bare knuckle. I mean, as you see, as time goes on, you'll see more and more people kind of steal my style a little bit. But it's cool, man. It's cool. No one does it like the originator. But I do my training here. I do the majority of my training, honestly, with my coach, and then the other half with my students, man. I got a couple pros, a lot of amateur fighters, and I don't believe in that crazy hard sparring. I'm not in my 20s anymore. I'm not learning how to fight. I know how to fight. I don't need to get rocked in practices to be like, okay, I'm ready for a fight now. I don't need that. I don't need that hard training. So I train with my students. I work on my movement. I work on my volume. I have them put me in bad situations, and I like different looks. Everyone has different style of fighting, and I think that definitely prepares me for anything that comes my way.
We got another prediction here, Jim, from Matt Zeiferblatt. He's calling it now a first-round knockout. So, when people make comments like that, and these guys aren't the only ones that have made the comments here. I mean, you see them on the social media all day. People are talking about this fight a lot, and people are choosing sides. But I do see a lot of people that support you, and it's not just your friends and family, because they're always going to support you. You could be on a 10-fight losing streak, and you're going to go first round knockout coming up next. I mean, and that's what they're supposed to do because they love you. But the fan base of both MMA and the fan base of bare knuckle fighting that's growing and the MMA fan base that's attaching to it because of your connection with MMA. They're also calling this knockout win for you, and they were saying this, when it was first announced, and the sentiment seems to be going stronger. I've seen more people that believe that you're going to win this fight, and it's no disrespect to Luis, but this is just what I'm seeing. How does it make you feel that people are really recognizing that you've truly come into your own in this sport, and you're on the ground floor with them, but you're blazing a trail right now, and people are taking notice, probably more notice of you now at this stage of your career than any other point. And that says a lot because you were in the UFC. So you had a lot of eyes on you, but you're getting so much more credit today. How does that make you feel about where you are?
Man, it's definitely a good feeling, but I think I'm someone that doesn't really like to be in the limelight too much, I think when I was in the UFC, that was like the main goal. I wanted to be famous. And I think that was kind of like a downfall too, is that, I care too much about that, I think, than my actual training sometimes. I'm like, man, I want to be this person that everybody knows. And it's cool that people are acknowledging the skills and this, but I try not to read too much into it and not let it get to my head too much. I still just look at myself as a student who's trying to learn and just get myself 1% better every single day. I just don't do bare knuckle. As you see, like I've already competed 2 or 3 times in jiu-jitsu matches since my last fight. Maybe more than that, of course. It's been a long time now. So I compete in everything, and win or lose, I get back to the gym and I put that work in. So I do think it's cool that people are acknowledging it, but I fight just for the love of it, and I'm glad that people are entertained with it though.
That's awesome. So you've done professional MMA. You do professional grappling tournaments and stuff like that. You're doing professional bare knuckle fighting now. Is there another combat sport out there that you maybe want to take a swing at before you hang up the gloves or hang up the non-gloves from bare knuckle fighting? But is there another one out there that you want to do? Just go out there and just say, fuck it, man, I've done this. What do you want to do?
Man, what is there? I know there's tons of things. There's like kickboxing,
there's regular boxing,
Muay Thai, boxing. I think whatever opportunities are kind of really presented to me, and if money speaks for sure. But I just enjoy the idea of combat sports, of using my body to try to hurt somebody else, and no matter what it be, like wrestling, jiu-jitsu, MMA, combat jiu-jitsu. I love that one. I love slapping people.
I know the slap fighting. I when you guys started doing that, I was like, and I saw that we should have seen that as the precursor. Once Jim got a little, taste of the smack, people, he was like, I got to go bare knuckle a motherfucker now.
I'm a combat jiu-jitsu world champ for Combat Night. So that I enjoy doing that. I really just enjoy, like I said, just going out there and using my body in any way, man. Who knows? Maybe that what's that other crazy one called where you can headbutt and crap, but they didn't give me a good offer at the time. They offered they hit me up like one fight into my bare knuckle, and I was like, I don't know. It's definitely not what I'm looking at. So maybe, who knows?
I wouldn't do a sport where I'm going to get headbutted. That's the one that just I don't like that at all. And I don't want you to do that either, dude. You got enough going on. Let's keep that one for the really crazy people.
The really crazy people, man.
Like Jason Mayhem
Miller
kind of people, or Felony Charles Bennett, those guys. Let them go headbutt the fuck. That would be a great fight now that I think about it. I can't believe we just made that one up. Debbie Gamble, the #1 MMA fan of the state, she wants to know, will you ever fight MMA again professionally?
Oh, that's a good question. It's very hard, I guess, to go back to MMA for the fact that I would have to like start all over almost, unless I just, after I get through whatever my fights that I have with bare knuckle, and maybe, I'll talk to Dave fit, and just tell him it's kind of something that I want to do. That's kind of a talk that I want to have with him. That I have 19 professional MMA fights, and I do want to get that 20th one in before I'm too old and broken. So I'll talk to Mr. Feldman and see if I can sneak one in between fights, and we shall see.
So let me ask you this, because it was an interesting question by Debbie, but I'm going to take it a step further. So right now, again, when you were in the UFC and doing MMA, you didn't really show the world this striking that and it's not something you just developed over the last year and a half. You've always had this. You just never used it. Now you have to, because that's all you can use in this fighting, So now that the UFC, because, I'm sure somebody's talking about you. I'm sure, people in the UFC see, bare knuckle is getting really big, and, people are taking notice. So then now they see what kind of animal you are with your fists. We already know you can throw kicks. We already know about the ground game, but they've never really seen the striking with your hands. Do you think, let's say you go through this fight, you win the belt, you defend it once or twice, you have a contract pause, you're not under contract anymore, and the UFC can offer you. Do you think that they would say, you know what, Alers has reinvented himself? He's going to be a star here again now. He's going to be a star here now that we thought he was going to be back then. Would that be something that would really excite you? Oh, did he freeze out again? Because that was a damn good question.
Maybe it's the phone. We're breaking up. Can you ask that again? Sorry, something about the UFC.
So they're seeing your striking.
We're breaking up again. No, what's happening? We were doing so well.
Hold on. Hang on.
I lost you.
You lost me. Click out and click back in.
I'll be right back. I'm trying to get out and come back in again, I guess.
Okay.
Oh, wait, can kind of hear you. No.
Is it Facebook?
Yeah.
Get out. I'm trying to see if he's going to read the screen.
Yeah.
Oh, he went out. He'll click back in. Oh, wow. When I type a question, I just learned something. I'm typing a question, the one I just posted on the screen. You see it says the red logo down there for YouTube. If I type a question, I didn't know if it typed to YouTube, which is also live right now. Guys, make sure you follow my YouTube, by the way. But it clicks in both Facebook and YouTube. Oh, it clicks under in its cage cyber Christopher James. That's even fucking better. Wow. I'm digging life right now. So anyway, hopefully he'll be back in to answer that question. And Brian, what did he say? Your dude, the immortal Matt Brown, most UFC welterweight finishes, and I would love to get you up here for a few days. What is the disadvantage of the one you don't pick? What do you mean? Was that for me, Thomas? Jim is switching to a different computer right now to come back on the show, and then we'll get him back in here. So while you guys are watching, waiting for Jim to come back in, how many of you guys think that Khabib Nurmagomedov is now the GOAT of MMA? Mind you, if you say that you do, I might boot you off the show. I would never do that. I'll just tell you you're wrong. Don't forget, November 13th, Friday night, November 13th, live at the Intercontinental Hotel in Miami, Florida. It is BKFC 14. Alers versus Palomino. Johnny Bedford versus, Johnny Bedford's out. It's Dak Gwynn versus, I almost fucked it up. Dak Gwynn versus Reggie Barnett Jr. for the interim 135-pound championship. Two huge title fights. It was supposed to be Bedford versus Gwynn. Bedford injured his back during training. So I'm guessing whoever wins this interim fight will be next in line for Johnny. Reggie Barnett does not like that. And that came, and fired off some verbiage at him. And then, they've been in a battle of words ever since. They got into a little face-to-face altercation at BKFC 12 in Daytona. And, Reggie called him up, said, you said you're going to do something when you see me. You didn't do nothing, blah, 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 blah. So it's these guys really do not like each other. And wow. That's just it. Thomas Kosher Jones does not have and will not have an asterisk next to his name. I know he tested positive for stuff, but USADA, and go look this up if you want. USADA even said there's no proof that he intentionally cheated. His suspensions were more administrative than anything else. There will be no asterisk next to his name. He is the GOAT. It's undeniable. Khabib has had 13 fights in the octagon. John's had 15 title fights in the octagon. Okay. Khabib just doesn't have a long enough resume against the top tier competition. I mean, his first 11 fights, I believe, the opponent's records combined was like, and this isn't the exact number, but it's something just as ridiculous. I think it was like 7-87 in his first 11 fights, So, I mean, come on, man. It's not the same thing, Title fights have to be the heaviest weighing factor in assessing the GOAT, and nobody has more than them Jones. So, let's see, is he back?
I think, man, this computer is way nicer. I should have been on this one the whole time.
Hey, what's up,
My
dude?
wife's computer. My computer is crappy. My wife's computer is super nice.
That's awesome. Maybe you have to start using that more. So before we get back into your questioning, we were talking about while you were off the air for a minute, talking about Khabib. Everybody's saying he's the GOAT. I say it's John Jones. And his suspensions, and USADA said it himself. It's documented, it's proven. Both times that he got in trouble, they said they can never prove he intentionally cheated. That neither time did he have enough of a substance in there to do any performance enhancing. And the first time he was suspended for the dick pills, it was because he didn't disclose, and then the second time, it was basically an administrative suspension for not, coming clean about some other stuff. But so there's no asterisk next to his name. He's had 15 title fights in the octagon. Khabib has had 13 fights in the octagon, 4 title fights. So John's had more title fights than Khabib's had fights in the octagon. I think the clear-cut case for John Jones is there. Nobody's got more title fights. He's undefeated in title fights. The Amanda Nunes at that point is the second behind Jones to me, because she's undefeated in 8 title fights, 2 divisions, and she always had to fight the number ones because there wasn't anybody else to fight for her. So what's your thoughts? Khabib, greatest lightweight of all time, but not the GOAT. Would you agree?
Yeah, I think he's definitely the greatest lightweight of all time. I simply for the fact that, like you said, man, he had 3 title defenses only. Not a lot of people really knew who he was until he fought Conor McGregor.
True.
If it was based on your actions in and out of the octagon, then I guess that kind of disqualifies Jones a little bit. Inside the octagon, no one's done really what Jones has done. He technically is undefeated in my mind, Jones. And those title defenses are crazy. But if we were going with inside and outside the octagon, I'll have to go with GSP, man. He's a 2-weight divisional champ. He's went on and avenged both of his losses that he had. He has the second most title defenses, I believe, after John Jones.
Nope.
With
Mighty Mouse.
13. Oh, Mighty Mouse. Yeah, Mighty Mouse. But I think, again, GSP being a multiple division champion.
Sure.
kind of puts him above Mighty Mouse in my opinion. You know,
But
Mighty Mouse tried
GSP,
at 135, and
yeah,
it didn't work
it
out too
wasn't
well
him.
for him
And
against
that's the
Dominic
thing,
Cruz.
GSP, you know, left when USADA came through, and he took a long hiatus before he came back, and he reinvented himself. There's a lot of people that say he left because he was going to end up being in trouble, so he got away before he got caught. I don't.
Who knows, man? Back in those
No,
days,
that's what
I
I'm
think
saying.
every single one of them did.
Shit, and Pride, they, you know, I have a letter from Pride that they would send to the fighters, and back in the day, they would say, "Look, we're not testing for this, we're not testing for this, we're not testing for this. We're only looking for like marijuana, or you know." But they weren't testing for steroids. They didn't give a fuck. It was almost saying, "Go do steroids, man. Fucking make this exciting." You know, I mean, so we all know that people have done stuff. But there's so many people, and with Khabib, if we want to talk about outside of the octagon, Khabib absolutely slams on women. He thinks women should be in the kitchen, and the only thing they should be finishing is their husbands. Said that publicly.
I mean,
he's
that's
also
his culture, man. It's
I know, but
something that
he's also, but you don't always have to talk about it. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to come out publicly and just say, people understand the Muslim culture is different, but once you say it out loud, it makes you a villain. And he's harshly against the GQT community.
Yeah, again, that's his culture and religion.
In today's world, you can't do that, man. You can't. That's so wrong. We should be so far past that kind of negativity and shaming of that community. So those are two big knocks on him, to me, and to a lot of other people. So, but I don't take the GOAT thing and include the outside stuff. I want to know what you did in your fighting. Like Lawrence Taylor, he was a cokehead and crazy, but when he was on the football field, that motherfucker balled out. Darryl Strawberry fucking got all coked up, his career, went out there and pitched like a motherfucker, or was a hitter, and Dwight Gooden, the same thing. So I
mean, personally, I feel fighting wise, there's nobody that's done what John Jones has done, and for as long as he's done it, and he literally just said, "Here you go, 205-pound division. Done. I'm bored with you guys because I beat everybody. I beat every up and coming guy, and I'm not going to stick around and wait for some young new guy to come up and have a shot." I mean, how long does he have to prove that he's the best at that weight class? I think he should have moved up to heavyweight a while ago already.
But he's there now, so now he's going to be a heavyweight. I perfectly think that he'll have two fights at heavyweight. The first one will happen, and then he'll get a title shot. If not a title shot in his first heavyweight fight, and he'll become the heavyweight champion of the world. So
I don't know what you're saying. Sorry.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. I'm saying that I think Jones is going to become the heavyweight champion, and he's going to sit atop there as long as he wants to.
Man, I think those guys are big, man. Some of those guys in heavyweight. I mean, Jones is a big guy, and
he's bigger than all the
I just want to see
now, except for the weight.
I want to see how he takes a punch. There's that's 60 pounds. Some of these guys cut to 265. So I think he's like 225 the day of his fights.
Well, no, he walks around and has been walking around for the last 2 years at 230 to 235. And when he fights at heavyweight, he'll probably come in at 245. But it's going to be all muscle. He's going to retain his speed, which is going to be a huge advantage against all the guys in the heavyweight division, because none of them are going to be able to keep up with John's hand speed and foot speed. That's why I see him beating them all. Even Francis, Francis has not improved. He's just a big puncher. So,
yeah, man, I mean, that would be cool. I would love to see him go up there and hopefully, just win over a lot of fans that he's lost. I've always been a fan of him. Like I said, man, people make mistakes, and hopefully that, he's learned from them. And I don't really follow. I'm one of the worst guys to really talk about fighters and stuff, because I don't really follow fights anymore. I think I stopped really watching fights, unless I know the person. So if I like personally know the person, or I mean, I watched this Khabib and Gaethje fight, but I honestly didn't care about any of the other fights. I don't. I just watched so many live fights with Combat Night and stuff, that watching fights on the TV with UFC fighters that I don't really know, it kind of gets a little repetitive. So I don't really know. I don't know so many things, man. I saw my first boxing. I think it was like my third boxing match I've ever seen when I saw the I can't even tell you. There you go, Chaco, and the other guy. That was a good fight, though. I actually enjoyed that one. Usually, boxing is crazy boring to me.
That was a good fight,
but that was actually entertaining. And I think since I've started doing bare knuckle, I've started to appreciate boxing a little bit more, the science behind it and everything.
Yeah.
But I'll be that guy at the UFC fights, like, stand them up. This is boring. Stop hugging each other. Twist his dick. Like those crazy things.
Dick, dude. What's wrong with you, man? Dude, do you whisper that into their ear when you're getting into prison? Twist their dick.
So I like just when I watch fights, I like want to go have a good time, and I like to see knockouts. I like to, but I do appreciate the ground game. I'm not like your average fan I shout those things just to hype up the fans.
I got to cut you off with this because I got to say this to you. You're the guy saying I'm going to sit in the crowd and yell at people, stand them up, do all this shit, when you were nothing but a ground fighter, bro. That's a bullshit hypocritical crap.
That was some boring stuff I was doing there, man. I was, I did it because I was good at it, and that's what got me the wins.
Yeah, I know.
And I
honestly, out others for doing what you did. You can't do that, dude. That's not
good. Man, they need to. Hey, man, learn to punch, you people. No, but I say it both ways, man. I hate strikers who are like, all he wants to do is take me down. Learn to defend the takedown. It goes both ways, I'd say. But it is true. I mean, it's 100% true. You don't see too many. Khabib is a rare wrestler that makes it with the fans that he has. He has all of Russia backing him. But how many wrestlers, look at John Fitch, man. That guy went like 10-0, 10 wins in a row before he got a title fight. He lost a 5-round crazy fight to GSP. And then I think he won another like 9 fights in a row. Why? Because he wasn't knocking people out. But you get Conor McGregor, he wins 3 fights. Give him a title fight because he's knocking people out.
Right. Oh no, it's
what the fans want to see. That's what's so great about bare knuckle, man. It's what everything the fans want to see, minus the ground stuff. They want to see blood. They want to see striking. They don't mind the clenching a little bit and everything. And so it's all that stuff, and you don't have to worry about going to the ground. And they're fast rounds, man.
2 minutes go by quick, man. At least for us outside. I don't know what it feels like for you, but you haven't really had to go the distance. You only went the distance one time in bare knuckle, so the rest of them, Caleb Harris. No, you finished Julie. Yeah, you finished all your other fights. So you were 5-0, but 4. Is that right? You're 5-0.
4-0. About
three knockouts and 1 decision.
I see you predicting the future there, man. I know you didn't want to make your prediction, but you just did.
Hey, in a fantasy world, if it's in a fantasy world and you can make one fight right now, what fight would it be?
Man, I want to fight the craziest guy that they can find for me, man. I don't know if Diego Sanchez is still signed with the UFC, but that's one crazy SOB that I'd love to get in there and throw some hands with.
Maybe he'll come over to bare knuckle and dance with you. All right, but what about a fight not including you? What would be the one fight you would want to match make right now, Dave? If it was up to Jim Alers,
being the matchmaker? Gosh,
any fight in the world, any fighter from any promotion, doesn't matter. What would be the fight that Jim Alers would like to put together?
Man, there's so many great fights. I'm trying to think. I'd love to do like some cross promotion stuff here. So I think honestly, who I feel is the best fighter in in like Bellator or something right now, man. Man, this is hard. Again, you're asking the wrong guy who doesn't really watch too many fights anymore. I don't know, man. I have to think about that one a little bit.
I would want to put Valentina Shevchenko versus Henry Cejudo.
That'd be great, man. I'd love, honestly, man, I want to see Henry Cejudo come back. I know a lot of people aren't a fan of his, but I love it, man. I love his.
Sorry to use your nickname,
love him. This guy,
he's a beast.
This guy is, people don't really understand how tough wrestling is until they get in there. And he's an Olympic. He was the youngest Olympic champion. Yep. He went on, and I love that he took that loss from Mighty Mouse and came back, improved, came back and won. He learned, and I honestly feel that to me, he's definitely one of the GOATs, considering he beat the best, who people say is the best 135er in the world, right? Who's the best? Who was one of the best 135ers in the world to you? Either Dominic Cruz, right? Yep. He beat Dominic Cruz, or who else?
For me,
who was the other 135 champ that everyone thought this is the man?
TJ Dillashaw.
And TJ Dillashaw, and he beat both those guys. And it's like, what else does he have to do? He beat Mighty Mouse, the great, who you put into your GOAT category.
He's absolutely in the GOAT category.
He beat Dominic Cruz. He beat this guy. Imagine if he came back at 145.
The only knock on him too, and he's in the conversation, there's no doubt about it, because he's accomplished so much. But again, the title reign resume, even though he did it in 2 divisions, is small.
No defenses. But I'd love to see him go to 145 and fight that. Again, I'm not good with names.
Alexander Volkanov.
That midget guy at 145.
I would love to see that fight. And
I just said that because Alexander he broke my heart beating a lot of my favorites. So that guy is a hell of a fighter, man. But he broke my heart. I'm like, there's no way he's gonna beat Mendez. Boom, knocks out Mendez. Dang, there's no way he's gonna beat Holloway. Which I don't know. Those are questionable fights, but he beat him twice. So
twice. And that's the thing. At the end of the day, the guy's good. But the Cejudo versus Volkanovski fight, I definitely would pay money to watch that fight. I pay money to watch all the UFC fights anyway, except for the ones I intend to get a media pass, which is rare. So I pay for them all anyway, and that's a fight I would want to be in the building for. If that ever gets to happen again, and it should. Other promotions are doing. I think the UFC is just waiting until they can get at least 70% capacity before they start taking the show on the road again. But Fight Island has been a fucking success. Doing the shows at the Apex has been awesome for them, and I'm glad the fighters are getting to work. And that's why I'm really happy for you at Bare Knuckle, because Feldman was undeterred. It took him a little while to get the formula and the system set up, but once he did, he's rolling. So you guys are fighting, which means you all are eating. And,
man, he's the man. He's the man. It's awesome.
He's good people. Tyler Goodjohn versus Jim Alers. Howie Atherton wants to see that fight.
Who's that?
Tyler Goodjohn. He's coming over
from an MMA fighter or something.
He's a bare knuckle guy. He's coming over from England with Mark Godbeer. He looks like Aquaman, but he fights like a fucking crazy man, dude. He's
English guys don't know how to fight, man. I already went over there and beat them. Won the Cage Warriors title, defended it 2 times, undefeated over there in the UK. I don't see anybody over there giving me any. They don't know how to fight.
And there you go, Howie. So Jim just shut down your fucking fight, man.
Whoever that is, man. Whoever that guy is.
From the Police Gazette. He's laughing at you. That's fucking awesome. So before I let you go, because we've been on for a good while, and I'm digging it. But before I let you go, give us your final thoughts on, and it's going to be like a 2-part question, on your fight and what we really are going to expect to see from both you and Luis. And the other part of the question is your thoughts on how bare knuckle fighting has really grabbed a hold of the combat sports world, and what it means to you to be a part of this, historic run that they're on as they continue to grow this sport.
So, man, regarding my fight with Old Man Louie, I think it's gonna be fireworks. It's gonna be exactly what everybody thinks it's gonna be. He is a bull. He'll come in there and he's hard to put down. But I'm gonna go in there and do exactly what I do every time, man. I'm not afraid to say it, because unless he does something crazy and meets me dead on and we just explode right in the middle, because that I'm coming at him as soon as the bell rings. I'm not taking a step back. I'm never gonna take a step back. So he better keep coming at me with everything he has and the kitchen sink, because I'm not going to stop. I'm going to keep throwing and keep throwing and keep throwing and keep throwing till the bell rings and the referee pulls me off of him. So expect it. Expect nonstop action from bell to bell, and whether that be 30 seconds or 10 minutes, I'm not going to stop. As far as bare knuckle, just coming in and getting so many people's mind, and you're hearing on everyone's mouth lately. I think their recent signings and just the press that it's getting, it's only getting bigger and bigger and bigger. So I'm excited to be a part of it. I'm excited to main event it again for, I think, out of my 5 fights now, I've co-main event and main evented 4 out of 5 of those. So it's awesome to be there and grow with this company and be one of the pioneers of it. I hope one day people talk about me in bare knuckle the same way they talk about, Chuck Liddell and Forrest Griffin and these guys that made the UFC. So I hope one day that I'm in. Hey, remember Jim Alers? That guy was crazy, man. No matter what, he was going in there to kill people. So I hope that I'm in people's mouths and minds that way.
I'm hoping that you do so well with this sport, that people, when they start talking about you, they go, "Remember that Jim Alers guy?" And the first thing the other person does is go,
"Man, I almost messed up, man." I feel like I tell people, I'm like, the sticking the tongue out thing is cool. It's kind of like my thing, but sometimes people have slow cameras or they want to take like 5 pictures, and I'm sitting there like this for like 4 minutes, and I'm like, my face is starting to hurt. But it's the first thing, especially like I went to the last one in Daytona, the last bare knuckle, I think.
Yep.
And, we had to have the mask on and everything. And I'm taking pictures with people and they're like, "Pull the mask down, stick your tongue out." I'm like, all right.
And you were. I saw you walking around, dude. The people were fanboying all over you. You were like, it was great, dude. But that's what I want to happen for you personally, as a friend and somebody who loves the sport. When people, like you said, you want people to be going, "That Jim Alers guy was crazy," back in the day, would beating him, but when they bring up your name, as soon as one person brings it up, the other person just goes and just throws it out there. You just, because that was your thing. Because those are the things that let you know that you really made an impact on somebody. When they just, they either do you like your face thing, or if you have a quote, and they just always quote you, like with Conor McGregor, he's got a few out there. Go like,
"Who the fuck are you?" That's my favorite.
Who the fuck are you? Who the fuck are you? Dude, that was so great. But little things like that, don't be a do nothing bitch. That was Ronda Rousey's thing, and a lot of people remember that. I thought that was a stupid comment because why even refer to women as bitches? You don't be a do nothing bitch. How about don't be a do nothing woman? Just get up and do something. But whatever, apparently it's cool to call women bitches. It's like a sign of respect now. I don't know, man. I'm old school.
They can do it. Nobody else can. Guys,
I still don't get that, dude. It's not a sign of respect. It's just like, I don't know. But I'm old, so I guess I have different values and morals in the world today. But listen, man, thanks for spending a lot of time with us tonight, man. We are excited to see you back in the ring. The circled circle. I can't call it the squared circle because it's not square. So the circled circle. That's
so someone said that. Someone said that, and I think this is what I think. That the reason it's called a squared circle is because if you look at the apron, the apron is a square, and then the ring is a circle. They
call regular boxing rings the squared circle.
See, I don't know. I don't follow boxing, so I don't
See,
know.
that's what I'm
Why did
saying.
they? But at
So-
least with bare knuckle, there's a
It's legit.
circle and a square. It's legit, yeah.
Howie Atherton, we'll drop a couple of just quick comments. Debbie Gamble says, "Love you, bare knuckle beast. You got this all the way." And Howie from the Police Gazette says Jim stands out as a real face of bare knuckle. And yeah, it's definitely true. You've definitely left your face out there, and with the tongue. But your action with these is what people are going to remember most of all.
Yeah, and I think I want to be, I don't definitely when it all said and done, I don't want to be just remembered about those, man. I want people to talk about just the person I was inside and outside of the cage.
Yeah.
All jokes aside, man, Lewis is a great man. He's a good father. I see how much he cares for his kids. He's a good person in fact of friends. He cares for his friends a lot. So all jokes aside, man, like he's a good guy. I would never like disgrace his character or anything like that in any way, or anybody I'm fighting, unless they are a bad person, but he's a great guy, guys, and it's gonna be when we go in there, it's all business. It's all business.
All business. And
like Khabib says.
That's right. Send location. It's just business. Yeah. Yeah. That's what we're talking about. That's another catch. He goes, send location. People say that shit all the time. And so, it's because of Khabib. There was one other thing, we were talking about combat sports you might want to do, might not want to do. Would you ever do professional wrestling, like WWE wrestling?
Oh, man. I grew up watching that, man. I would love to.
I still watch.
I think I'm pretty small, so I'll have to be like a luchador.
That's all right.
If you guys don't know what a luchador is, right? That's one of those like small Mexican wrestlers that used to flip off the top ropes and stuff. But that's probably what I would have to be, or like a little Doink the Clown, the midget one. Remember him?
Yeah.
So that's probably something that I would have to be in wrestling. I mean, that would be really cool, man, to just at least make a little cameo and just maybe give someone the bare knuckle fist. What's your wrestling name?
Well, this is the Nacho Libre mask from that movie Nacho Libre.
Yeah.
But my luchador name would be El Quico Jewish. The El Quico Jew.
Yeah, I definitely have to fight for the cruiserweight title, probably. I used to love one of my favorite things about
you brought the luchador.
wrestling
I cleaned up my studio today, and I had that sitting right there, and I was like, "Oh fuck, I'm gonna put it on."
That hardcore belt was one of my favorite things about wrestling. I used to love when someone would come out and just boom, they just win the hardcore belt right away, and then they'd run away as a champ. They need to do something like that for MMA. Like, hey, fights can happen anywhere, anytime.
Well, right now in WWE, they have the 24/7 championship that I got introduced like 2 years ago.
Is that similar to that?
Well, it's not hardcore, it's just, but anywhere, anytime, any place. And R-Truth.
Oh, it's like the same belt, pretty much, yeah.
R-Truth has won the belt like 48 times in the last 2 years. Cause it just happened all the time, and they do segments where he's out on the golf course and, somebody jumps him on the golf course and he jumps him at a chicken restaurant. And they've made it fun, and it's so funny. The guy, and they during a regular match, all of a sudden R-Truth will come running through the building, jump through the ring, and then there's 12 guys chasing after him that want to, fight, and there's a referee ready to count. It's so fucking funny. So
yeah. I keep saying I'm going to get back into it, but I haven't really since. I mean, probably the Rock era.
What would be your luchador name?
Man, however, I'm a disgrace to Puerto Ricans, man. But however you say the bare knuckle beast in Spanish, I'd come in. My signature move would be just like a super uppercut or something like that.
Let me see. I'm gonna. You know what? Before we let you go, I'm gonna see if I can Google Translate. I'm gonna bring
bare knuckle beast. How do you say that in Spanish?
English to.
I'll probably butcher it. Usually it puts the words the wrong way and everything.
Let me see. English to Spanish. Bare.
El bare knuckle bisto.
I'm typing it in right now. Yes, I meant bare knuckle beast. And it would be Vestir de Nudullos Desnudos.
That's
Here,
too crazy. That's too much, I think.
Let me see if I can.
We got to shorten that up.
Bestia de nudillos desnudos.
Let me say it again.
Bestia de nudillos desnudos.
I could pull that off.
Hey, the good thing is you don't have to say your own name in wrestling. They say it for you.
Yeah.
And luchadors don't get on the mic. So
I'll be like one of those silent ones that just doesn't talk, I guess.
The word for bear in Spanish isn't the word for
Bare
beast.
knuckle
So it'd be
beast.
like the naked knuckle beast.
Bare knuckle beast.
Good.
Can you hear that? Oh, wait, where'd it go? Oh, never mind. I lost it. But anyway, that was a pretty good translation. I just don't know. Like, fuck it. Oh, hey, can you rap or sing? Forrest wants to know.
No.
He can't sing. He was
Horrible.
on the show. And what song did you sing? You sang from one of those kids' movies.
Yeah, I sang You're Welcome from Moana.
Yeah, that's right. He sang that song and he sang it badly, but he sang it. So can you rap? Can you like freestyle rap?
I tried my best, man.
Hey, listen, the fact that
Man,
you did it.
I think if I tried, that'd be a disgrace to all rappers if I tried to rap.
And there you
That
go.
would be a disgrace.
Oh,
man.
wait. Nick, hey, Mitchell. Mitchell says your Lucha Libre name would be La Putador.
You got it. You got it. My name is- I wish I could hear what he said.
Oh my god.
It's in here.
Hey, I mean, I don't even know what it means, so it doesn't sound good. I know that puta is not a good word, so I'm guessing putador is probably something bad.
All right, let's try this. We're gonna figure it out right now.
I know that can't be something good.
All right, so Google.
Man, shout out to Combat Night, man, too, for keeping these fighters going, man.
Yeah, absolutely. Combat
They
Night
just had a show.
They just got
I
started
think
back going
last
again.
weekend. Hey, they were the first people to do it, man. They were the first people to do it. They
100%.
brought Combat Night back to Jacksonville, and we got
All right,
South
so-
Florida show coming up, Tallahassee Pro show coming up.
Yep, that's true.
Any pros out there that want to fight, hit up Richard Cox. Tallahassee, early December in Tallahassee.
La putador.
Oh my God, I love it. Hey, speaking of Mitchell, do you think we're ever going to see Mitchell back in a ring fighting again or in a cage, doing MMA or maybe bare knuckle?
Man, I think that's a conversation that you
honestly,
gotta have Mitchell on the show for.
He called you La Putador, so answer
I
honestly.
think you should get Mitchell on the show very soon and see what he has to say about that. That's all I have to say.
All right, because we want to see him fight, man. I mean, it's been a long time, but I know he's out there training all the time. He's working with guys all the time. I want to see him fight again, man. I love watching Mitchell fight. He's incredibly talented, and he works hard at it. So, but like he told me for years, I'm going to do it. And he still ain't done it. So I just want to know.
Yeah, man, that guy, he's a busy man.
Hey, all right. Well, listen, thank you again for being here tonight, man, and just having a good time with us, man. I appreciate it. When you click out, don't go away because I got to ask you something off the air before you go.
All right, sounds good.
All right, so you want to give your social media out before you go to make sure everybody that doesn't have it can get. There she is, Mrs. Bare Knuckle Beast. She's the face that runs the place.
Man, yeah, definitely, man. That's I'd be lost, man. I'd definitely be lost. Fight Jim at Fight Jim, FIGHTJIM. I'm the most active, I guess, on my Instagram. I got to get a little bit better with it. But that's probably the one I'm most active at. If you guys want to follow my gym, also at Alers Martial Arts. I I post. I'm probably the most active on that one. Trying to just grow that gym audience for my gym, really myself and whatever. But I'm trying to grow the future.
Awesome. Well, listen, man, thank you. And God bless you and your family, man. Always, like I said, you always impress me more as a fighter or as a father and a husband and a member of the community than you ever will as a fighter. And you're pretty badass as a fighter. But I just want to know, the things you want to be remembered for, I see, and a lot of people do. So as awesome as it is, we get to see you fight and do all that talented stuff and beat people up. And that's cool because, that's why we love it. The human being you are is 10 times better than the fighter. That's not a bad thing, by the way. So
appreciate it. Thank you.
So listen, I'm going to click you out, close out the show, stand by. I want to talk to you off the air real quick. So boys and girls,
Right,
that is the beast himself, the bare knuckle beast, the man himself, fighting November 13th on the BKTV app at www.bktvapp.com in Miami, his hometown, Palomino's hometown. It is the fight that people are talking about. It is for the 155-pound championship, for the bare knuckle fighting championship belt, and the Police Gazette belt. Both belts are going to be on the line. It's Alers versus Palomino, or Palomino versus Alers, however you want to word it. Either way, it's going down. Jim, thanks so much for the time, and we'll see you in just a little bit. All right, so we're going to back him out. All right, guys, listen, thank you so much for joining us tonight on the show. I appreciate it. I hope you guys had a good time. As always, thank you for being a part of my life today and allowing me to be a part of yours for just a little while. I will truly never be able to put into words how much that truly means to me. Tomorrow night on the show, as you can see on the bottom of the screen, we are going to be talking with BKFC heavyweight champion Joey Beltran, the Mexicutioner. We are also going to be talking with Jim Alers' opponent, the 155-pound champion Luis Baboon Palomino. It starts tomorrow night at 7:30 with the heavyweight champ, and we'll finish off with the 155-pound champ, Mr. Palomino. Until then, I am Christopher James. Boys and girls, you all have been caged. I will catch you soon. Good night, everybody.
What happens if you lose, Nick?
Who the hell's Aquaman?
I get Fruity Pebbles, Cocoa Pebbles, I get sausage biscuits. Maybe you guys will see a little footage of that later on because we got some good stuff.
Throw up the deuces. There you go, baby.